is Lucas Caneda. Did I say that right, Lucas?
That's perfectly right, Ross. Thank you.
Lucas is checking in, guys, all the way from France. And welcome to the podcast, man. Glad to have you on.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me. And can I say that I love the name of the show?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for saying that. Now, guys, I wanted to bring him on because I think what he's doing is phenomenal. He, too, is a young man that is unstoppable. Lucas, tell the audience what you do. One of the things that you do, or all of the things that you do. We'll jump into
all of them, right?
Yeah, because there's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah.
Interesting. So I've started as a rugby player. I was born and raised in Argentina. When I was 25, back in 2015, I had the opportunity to fulfill my dream that was becoming a professional athlete, a professional rugby player in this case. So I flew to France and I've been here since. In the meantime, that dream, I mean, I'm probably the happiest man by doing it, but doing what I love. Yeah. But also it started, changing a little bit, evolving, let's say, into not just wanting to play rugby, but also into the business side. That's how I slowly became involved into business. And finally, around 2 years ago, I met Dom, who I work with personally every day, at his incubator called Unicorn.
Okay.
I became one of the directors. We've been working together. We've founded some companies together. And of course, I keep playing rugby professionally. So I try to manage both things at the same time, which it's a good challenge, a nice adventure. And that's what keeps me going.
Well, that's something. Playing rugby, still in the business world, doing what you have to do. So you said you were born in Argentina. Yep. This love for rugby has opened up doors for you. Now, if I'm correct, you are part of a company that helps amateur teams transition into professional teams.
Yeah, the company is called Challenger X. Yeah, it recently came public in the Actors Exchange in London.
Okay.
There was a nice Christmas present for us because we were listed on the 23rd.
Okay.
The public name, let's say, for the teams is CX Sports, as you can see in my T-shirt. What we are doing is by the means of a local club called Sarla Rugby, which we took over roughly 18 months ago, and we completely changed and evolved into a slowly becoming professional club.
Okay.
Through what we like to call the basis, right? So we worked on our logo, which looked very bad at the beginning, and now it's completely rebranded. So the image and that brand that we created is what allows us to grow big. We believe that there's no reason why amateur teams should at least look different than professional ones.
Yes.
So if you go into our website, we currently have 4 different languages. For instance, we have all our content in English, in Spanish, in French, and in German.
Okay.
I don't think there's any other, not even professional clubs here in France do that.
Wow.
And there's no reason why. That's what we believe. And through Sarla Rugby, through facing all the challenges and all the problems that teams have every day, we decided to found this company and to provide support, to provide help, and basically to tackle the problems that every single club, no matter what country, no matter what sport they are playing, are facing every day. Being the first one, the main one, monetization. Every club is struggling for money.
Okay.
Especially amateur clubs.
Okay.
So we've built in different tools that help these teams generate revenue.
Okay.
And that's our main focus right now. And one of the beauties about what we do is Because let's say you have an amateur club yourself, Ralph, and I go to you and I want to sell you something. Your first reaction is always, I'm sorry, I don't have any money.
Right.
Because you're struggling to get money.
Yeah.
And for us, it's just unacceptable to go and to offer you to generate revenue if I'm going to ask for money in place to set it up. So what we came up with is with an option that comes for free at the beginning. It's just commission based.
Wow. Okay.
So we help you out. We take on ourselves the starting costs, and then we get a commission on whatever you get.
Okay.
So we are very much involved into making this a success, because there's no success without your success in our case, because we will get zero commissions if you're not getting any money.
Yeah.
So that for us is we call it the foot of the door. So it's our way to go in, our way to get acquainted, get that relationship going. Of course, there's other tools, other ways to progress and to go far beyond that. But that comes in after we've already proved to yourself that we are capable of generating revenues for you, for your club. And on a side note, we expanded this not just for clubs, but also to the athletes that are influential or not, and that they are also struggling to make an impact and to generate revenue from what they do.
Yeah.
So we're supporting both pieces at the same time.
Man, that's amazing. And to be a fairly young man, to have gotten into this, there had to be a love and a drive that went beyond rugby. First of all, before we even talk about that, you have to, I'm over here in the US. We don't watch a lot of rugby. We sometimes I do. And then there's Australian rules football. Is that similar?
They are alike, but it's not the same sport. If that's what you're asking. Yeah.
Okay.
It's different.
Yeah. And so, we over here in the US, sometimes I think our tunnel vision is just on our four main sports, but we are definitely, we are finally getting more in tune with football, with what you guys call football. We call it soccer. We're just now getting in tune with that. And rugby, I can catch it in the afternoon sometimes like that. So, but I think what I really want to get to the heart of, you played a tough sport. You're still playing a tough sport. You have a love for it. Where did this love come from, or this drive to come from, to get into the business side of it? And really what you're doing is you're uplifting other players and other teams. You're telling them, hey, come along with us on this journey. Where did that come from? Where did that love come from, that desire to do that come from?
It's a great question, Ralph, by the way. So I think that part of that comes from being there myself.
Okay.
I was an amateur athlete when I was younger, till I was 25. I was playing in Argentina. And in fact, I was paying for all my fees myself. So if I had to strap, I paid for it. If I had to go to lunches, to dinners, I paid for them myself.
Wow.
I was working at the same time. I was studying at the same time. So I understand the struggles that amateur professional athletes face every day.
Yeah.
So a part of that comes for trying to help my early self back in the day.
Yeah.
And also because we took over the local club, Salo Rugby, in here, and we faced those challenges ourselves as a club. That's how we build this up, to actually give solutions to people, because they're all struggling with the same things.
Yeah.
And instead, they usually keep turning around the same problems. And since mostly they are volunteers that drive the club, they don't really either have the time or the knowledge to get out of that. We're here to give them the solutions that they need to help them out. Of course, we're not charity. I mean, we are here to do business.
Sure.
But our way of doing business is together. is if you succeed, I'll succeed too. So let's make everything we can to make you progress.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I like that. Let me ask you, in this, while you're doing this, what are you learning about yourself? What do you learn about yourself? You know, sometimes we get so caught up in helping other people, but if you were to sit back in the pause when the sun goes down, what is Lucas learning about Lucas?
Well, there's plenty of things. Of course, we learn every day, and I think that when that learning process ends, that's when you really need to ask yourself a question: why is that happening? But apart from that, I do think that I've learned to, push my limits. In one point in time in my life, I thought I did not have enough time to do, to be a professional athlete and keep doing other things. That changed. I've learned to prioritize and to keep, if you really, really love what you do, and I always say this, everything becomes easier. So for me, business and sports, rugby in this case, is my passion.
Okay.
So I love working for them. So if I go to training, I enjoy training. If I come to the office, if I have a conversation with you about what I'm doing, I mean, I'm just enjoying the process. And that makes working not, when you don't feel you're really working, I mean, that's what's interesting, right? You get along a lot better, and it's practically impossible, in my opinion, to just invest tons of hours, tons of time into something that you don't like, because eventually you'll crack.
Well, what would you say to the person who's listening who is not enjoying the process, or they find themselves doing something they don't like? They're just chasing the dollar. They're just paying the bills, but they're not really living in their purpose. And what would you say to them, someone who's not liking the process right now, not enjoying what they're doing?
I mean, I discussed this plenty of times, but in my opinion, you should always look for your dream and do it. I mean, there's no reason why. I understand. I mean, most of us have responsibilities, and we're scared to take that, jump into the abyss. But sometimes, I mean, even if you keep doing what you're doing, start thinking about something else. Start looking for what you love, because it's so much easier, and it's so much, it fulfills you when you do what you like, instead of just doing it because, I mean, you have to.
Yeah. I listen, I know what answer you gave. A great answer, and you gave the right answer. You put it nicely, but I saw the struggle that you were really trying to say, hey, listen, man, stop and do what you love to do.
Thanks for the translation, Ralph.
This is the Unstoppable program, man. We're as hardcore and as real as we could possibly. We got to get down to it, because sometimes, man, we get stuck just doing what other people expect us to do. And we get caught in that expectation, and you'll end up fulfilling someone else's dream and not your own. And that part sucks.
Oh, for sure.
that part sucks, man. And so
I consider myself lucky in one point, because I've been able to do what I love, and I still do it, and I fulfill my dreams. Yeah. But I also looked for that. I mean, I believe that luck, I mean, you create your own luck, right? You give yourselves the chances to get there. You might fail in the process. That's not a bad thing, but you tried. You put everything you could into getting there. And I think agree. That's part of the process. That's actually great importance.
How would you encourage a young man or young woman that, they're trying to get there, and it's not easy. It is tough. It's tough. How would you encourage them, man? Your story is a great story, to where now you are still not only playing the game, but you have moved yourself into, when I'm done playing the game that I love, I'm still around what I love, but I'm just in a different space within it. So what do you say to the young man or young woman who is like that, but you know what, Lucas, you don't understand. Ralph, you really don't understand. You're behind that microphone, but people don't see our journeys, the journeys that we had to go through. But I I want you to encourage them. What would you say to them when they're in the midst of that struggle and it's tough and they feel like quitting? Talk to them.
So I would say that 3 things that you've mentioned during that process are key. First is young people. I mean, especially if you're young, you've got nothing to lose. If something goes wrong, you go back. I mean, what you have, you can always come back to that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not losing anything.
Yeah.
So just take the leap and try.
Yeah.
Second thing is that you mentioned the word tough. For me, it's important that they know it is tough.
Yeah.
Because if they think that it comes easily, they'll get, oh, this is not for me in an instant. Oh, this is too hard. Okay, yeah, face it. It is hard. I mean, I'm not saying that coming all the way over to France was easy. For instance, in my case, if I talk about my personal case, I mean, I was leaving everyone behind. I was leaving my studies behind, my job behind, my family, my friends. Of course, it's not easy. I came to a country that I don't speak the language. Anything could have happened.
Yeah.
But what if I didn't come?
Yeah.
You never know. Just, I mean, take the chance. And if it's not now, when are you gonna try and come? In this case, to play rugby when you're 40 years old?
Yeah.
That's too late.
Yeah. Yeah. I like what you said, man. That is a toughness right there. That is courageous. You said you left your country, you left your family, your friends. And I don't think a lot of people know, they don't believe that it takes that. Sometimes it does take. You went to a country where you didn't speak the language. Man, totally. That's phenomenal. So, some people, can't leave home, can't leave their surroundings, can't leave their family and friends. But to reach your destiny and reach your purpose, sometimes you got to step way out there, man. And I love that you shared that with us. I love that you were transparent with that, man.
You know what I thought about that, Ralph, for instance, not speaking the language.
Yeah.
I saw it as an opportunity. That was an opportunity for me to learn it.
Yeah.
And that's how I faced it. I mean, I was happy to be here because, I mean, what better to learn the language at the place they speak it?
Yeah.
It's so much easier.
Yeah.
But it's just your approach, the way you take that challenge. And again, I speak about challenge so much because for me, most of the things are a challenge. Of course, again, they don't come easy. If you don't work on it, if you don't roll up your sleeves and get to work, it's usually not going to happen, or you're probably going to fail.
Yeah.
But if you put what it takes, well, the chances are that you're going to be in a far better place next time.
Man, you are truly courageous. You're truly unstoppable. Talk to me about I know you might have a few life principles. Tell me about your North Star. Give me a life principle that you live by that is non-negotiable. This is a value. This is a North Star of Lucas. And I don't care who you are. You're not knocking me off of it. Give me that. What is that for you?
For me, friends and family are very important.
Yeah.
So you would do anything for them.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
And then for me, I would say it's resilience. An interesting story.
I love it.
Sorry,
I love it.
That's who I am. I mean, when I was a kid, or not really a kid, but when I was younger, I was telling my coaches and the people around me that I wanted to become a professional rugby player.
Yeah.
And they kept looking at me and they tell me, I mean, I'm sorry to tell you, but you're not big enough. You're not strong enough. You're not this or that.
Yeah.
And for me, in my particular case, that became a motivation because I wanted to prove every single one of them wrong.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I'm sorry to tell you, but I don't know, a couple of years after, I'm here. I'm still a professional athlete for the past 6 years. And I'll quit whenever I want, not whenever you want.
Right.
I think, and I usually call that winning mentality, because I was very much criticized, especially by my mom, when I was younger, that I was so hard focused on winning.
Yeah.
She was like, you're just playing, a dice game. Accept that you'll lose eventually.
Yeah.
And I don't want to lose. I want to win at everything I do.
Yeah.
And some people consider that, like a bad thing. Why would you play if you're going to lose or if you want to lose?
Right. Yeah.
And I would just have that in my mind. And that's like a fire. And as you said, a North Star. And I think that winning mentality would be probably the best thing. I mean, now that we've discussed a little bit, I say that's the North Star that I usually go to. I want to win. Yeah. No matter what I do, I want to win.
I love it. I love it. And there's nothing wrong with that. And you're right. Sometimes in society, winning isn't everything. No, to me, sometimes it's the only thing. It ain't there. It's the only thing. I want to win. And I love what you said about resilience, man. I did a whole podcast, a whole study on what resilience is. And just to hear you say that, I wish more people really understood and grasped that it's going to take resiliency for you to achieve whatever goal it is you're trying to achieve. Resilience, the ability to recover from an adverse situation. You can't quit. You can't throw in the towel. If you get knocked down, you got to get back up. People told you were going to be too small. They said, Lucas, you're too small. You're not fast enough. You're not strong enough. Meanwhile, you are a professional rugby player. You decided not to listen to the voices, or if you heard them, you allowed them to fuel you. Man, I love it, man. I love it. I love it. This is what truly makes you unstoppable. And this is why I wanted you on the podcast, man, because people think that they're the only ones in it. No, there's a tribe of people. There's a community of people that will encourage you in your journey, encourage you along the way. I agree.
And I love what you said. I mean, adversity. I mean, who has a road that's perfect and never faces any adversity during it? Yeah. Nobody. I don't know any single one that goes smooth over whatever they do.
Yeah.
That's just impossible. I mean, it's maybe 1 in a trillion.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you need to be able to just face it. And again, you said quitting. I mean, that's the easy way out. Yeah. And I know tons of people that have done it and they keep doing it. But why?
Why?
Again, it is tough, and it is there that you grow as a person, that you improve your skills, and it's there that you succeed. At things that being tough. I think you'd always get those memes that speak, for instance, a calm sea never makes a good sailor, or something like that.
Right.
Exactly the same thing.
Yeah. You have an amazing story, man. Where can my audience find you and stay connected with you and get encouragement from you? What are some of where can they find you? Social media or website? Where can they find you?
Sure. So on my LinkedIn, I would say it's the best option. Just Lucas Caneda. And if not, you can always go into our website, cxsports.io, and look for us, what we're doing. And if you need a hand, or if anyone that might be needing some help, we're more than willing to help.
Lucas, I need one of those T-shirts you got on, man.
I'll have to send you one.
I need one, man. So after we get off the air, I'll send you my address. I need one of those.
I'll send you one right away.
Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question, man. Before we go, I try to ask all of my guests, if Lucas Caneda could have a billboard anywhere in the world, where would it be and what would it say?
What do you mean? I think I need more explanation to that.
A billboard is just a big advertisement that everyone sees as they drive by. Where would yours be and what would it say?
That's interesting. I've never thought about that, to be honest.
No, not many people do. Not many people do. That's why I like to ask them this question.
If I have to think about it like business-wise, I would probably have CX Sports somewhere around it.
No. I want to hear your heart. I want you to put your heart on that billboard. Not your business, your heart. What would your heart tell the world?
I would probably put it in at my own rugby club back in Argentina.
Yeah.
And I would not promote myself, but I would just give the club something to think about. Like, this is my home, something like that. And just keep it there for all the people that are like what I call my family, my friends.
That's right.
So that they know every single time that they go there, how I feel about that place, because it is my home.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, I wanted to hear the heart. That works. I wanted to hear the heart, man. I wanted to hear the message that you would send.
I'm sorry. I'm always, one half of my brain is always business thinking.
Sorry. No. That's fine. That's fine, man. What a journey. What a phenomenal young man. Thank you for doing what you're doing, man. Thank you for not just, running ahead by yourself, but leading while bringing other people and other teams and other young men and other young entrepreneurs. And believe me, young men and women that listen to this podcast, even the older ones like myself, you have encouraged us today on this podcast, man. Thank you, Lucas, for doing that.
Thank you, Ralph, for the opportunity of having the opportunity to share what I've done on my story. It's a great place to be. And thank you again for having me at your show.
And this is not the end of your story, man. So I want to have you come back, man. And we'll work it out to where you come back. I want to hear the next chapter. I want to see what goes on, man, 6 months, a year from now, because the way you are talking and the way you are moving and grooving, I'm going to see you at the top, man. We're going to know your name and see you at the top. And thank you for doing what you do. Guys, you've been listening to the Unstoppable Podcast. My name is Ralph Grace Jr. Hey, if you haven't already, go over to my website at ralph@ralphgracejr.com. We're starting a 6-week leadership, personal growth cohort mastermind. Would love to have you a part of it. I mean, we are bringing some major value. Some of you have signed up. Would love to have the rest of you sign up. Going over to your website and sign up, and one of our person from our team will get back to you. I'm everywhere. But guys, listen. Come back next week. We have another phenomenal episode on Spotify. Again, thank you to my guest today, Lucas Caneda, and I'll see you guys next time. Let's be unstoppable.